welcome back. So today I'm just gonna play around in some makeup and talk about the news, because there are stories that I can't hold on to. These stories by myself. I need other people to know them, and those other people, you are the chosen ones, okay? Because some of them are rather interesting. So I'm just gonna play with some eyeshadow and stuff. I actually think I'm going to use the Sydney Grace Tropicolor palette. That's the palette they did in collaboration with Tina, the Fancy Face. I actually depotted the palette and I put the shades into this magnetic palette here for no particular reason. I just kind of felt like it. And even though it's a full palette, here's what it used to be housed in. Even though it's a full palette, I like Sydney Grace shadows as singles. And so it just felt like I'm gonna make singles out of. You get it. Okay, I don't even know where to start. First of all, I do not know. What I am going to start with is some primer from Colored Rain. This is their eyeshadow base paint base, and this is in the shade Wheat. Yeah. Okay, let me start with... I don't know if I want to start with the salacious things or the like weird things. Okay, so I stumbled upon a story about a man who has been on this mission to turn himself into a dog, like a full canine. Okay? Listen, as I always say, do you, boo. As long as everyone is a consenting adult, feel free to go about your life and do whatever you want to, whether people are judging it or not. I'm not necessarily judging it. I just think it's super interesting. So he decides that he wants to look like a dog. And so he figures out like what dog is like big enough, like human sized, where that he can just have that transition easier, you know? Like he can't be like a poodle or I don't know, a Maltipoo or something. He has to be like a big dog, right? So I think he's trying to be like the Beethoven dog. What is that? Let me look it up. Wait, hold on. That's another story that's crazy. A border collie. He wants to be a border collie. So when I first read this story, I was like, what? How do you become a dog? Like, wasn't there a movie back in the day where someone became, like, he transitioned into a dog? So I'm like, is he like doing some sort of like science experiment or something on himself? Like what? Is he just laying with dogs? Because doesn't it say you lay with dogs, you get up with fleas? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's happening. No, girl. What he did is... I actually don't like this Pat McGrath brush. Speaking of Pat McGrath, where is she? Where is she? We don't know if she still exists. I haven't seen her. Have you? So, he decides he's going to be a dog. And... I want to get you the correct information. Okay. He's a Japanese man, and he wanted to become Toko the dog. That's the name that he decided on. And basically, it's a costume. So, you know, like for Halloween, you put on a costume, right? But typically, if you dress as like a four-legged animal, like you just walk upright, you know? Not sir, not sir. He walks on his hands and knees like a dog. It's his alter ego. Basically, he's always dreamed of becoming a dog. Like, this just isn't something that he thought of, you know, yesterday. It's his dream. And he said he made it a collie, like a border collie, because they're big. And so he feels like that would be easier, right? To, like, come off as a natural dog. So, people think he's crazy. I mean... But he's just going about his business as a border collie. And ma'am, he went ahead and he like hired someone to walk him around on a leash. And he tries to play like fetch, catch, whatever, and things that dogs do. That's where I'm gonna stop, because I don't want to know more. Okay, but he's been a little upset lately because he's gone to the dog park and none of the dogs want to play with him. They're like avoiding him like the plague. And I'm sitting here like, I wonder why. Girl, listen, Toko, do it, boo. I'm just thinking though, if I encountered this person on their hands and knees in a full-on dog suit, covered head to toe like a canine, I would have questions. And he said it's not for any sort of sexual pleasure. Like, that's definitely, you know, an aspect of certain communities where you like enjoy putting on certain like costumes and things like that. Totally fine. He has no reason besides wanting to be a dog. So I think if at some point we are able to turn humans into animals, which I wouldn't be surprised if that already exists. I think he's gonna be first in line to do it, girl. So I went with this shade first, and then I'm gonna go into this one. This is Dr. Bird. If I remember correctly, this is one that they said applies best with a finger. So Toko-san is living his best dog life. He just doesn't have any friends. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, Toko. So then I saw another story that seems rather painful. So this lady and her husband, let's call her Emily, I don't know, either one, Ems. They decide to go to Disney World to celebrate her 30th birthday. Have y'all been to Disney World? I've been to Disneyland and Disney World. I'm Disneyed out. My college, my university was like in Orange County, California. Yes, I was part of the like 1% black there. And we were so close to Disneyland because Disneyland is like in Anaheim. And anyway, from our residence halls, from our dorms, you could see the fireworks from Disneyland. So we were always at Disneyland. And then when we were younger, we had to sell like those candy bars. Did y'all used to sell those? World's Finest Chocolate. And if your class sold a certain amount, you went to Disneyland. So I Disneyed out, and then I've gone to Disney World a couple of times, which is in Florida. Okay. So Emma and her husband decide that they are going to go to Disney World to celebrate her 30th birthday. So they decide to go on one of the water park slides. And I think it's called, what's it called? Shoot. It's like Humongo, Cowabunga, something like that. Let me find it, y'all. Humongo Cowabunga. It's a water slide. Now, I've had my share of mishaps on water slides. You know, I don't go on them anymore. But homegirl decides, it's my birthday, I'm gonna go down the slide. Now, they, in the affidavit or whatever, they say that part of the instructions for getting on the ride is that you have to cross your legs and your ankles. Crisscross applesauce, right? But it seems like Emma and her husband didn't pay attention to this because they were like, no one told us why we had to do it. You know, I mean, they didn't tell you why you had to do it. They were just like, you need to cross your legs and your ankles. Well, Emma decided she wasn't going to cross her legs. And as you go to the end of the water slide, you know, it's a water slide and then it usually like dumps you out into the pool. So you could be going like 40 miles an hour, right? Down this water slide. And then it starts to slow you down and you pop into the pool, right? But it seemed like Emma girl did not cross her thighs and she didn't cross her ankles. And she got injured. She fell into the pool and she had on a one-piece bathing suit, so nothing came off. But water certainly came in, just shot up her vagina like a douche. And she said she's injured. She is looking for compensation for pain and suffering. She had like vaginal lacerations. Listen, I'm gonna need them to put like a PSA or like a caution or something on that slide, because don't nobody need no vaginal lacerations from Disneyland. First of all, I don't know where this water is coming from. I don't know if you treating the water. I don't know if there's chlorine, because if you slashing up my lady bits and then I'm gonna get chlorine water up in there. Imagine being rolled into the emergency room like, wow, what happened? Girl, I was on this slide. Girl, like, let me tell you what happened. I went on this daggone Disney World slide, and this slide in the water almost took me clean out. This woman almost got disemboweled. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, listen to instructions. Okay? Listen to instructions, because, like, they're saying that Disney didn't instruct them as to why this safety measure was necessary. But you all know Disney's gonna have some real good, like, lawyers and counsel and stuff, because they told you about the safety measure, but you decided to not abide by it because you didn't know why they were telling you about it. When I've gone on, you know, rides at theme parks and such, if they tell me to keep my hands inside the car, I keep my hands inside the car. I don't need to put it outside to see what happens if I do. You know, I would like to exit this ride the same way I entered it. You know, all my limbs, everything in its place. So I'm gonna listen to what they say about these safety instructions. So I don't know what's gonna happen with Emma. She's trying to get $50,000. No, $50,000. Low key, I would ask for a little bit more. Listen, my veg is a hot commodity, ma'am. I need it to be in tip-top shape, and I don't need no water going all up and through my body from that point. Like, how far up did it go? Girl, that must have hurt. That's like, I don't even know. I mean, I feel like I would like her to rate it on a scale of like cramps to IUD to birthing, because how many people will know how that feels? Not very many. No, I would imagine not very many. But also, I wonder if that's why they tell you to cross your thighs and your ankles. Because it might have happened to somebody before, and they were like, we need to mitigate these circumstances, so we are going to tell people that when they get on this slide, cross everything, girl. But I wonder, because it can't just be for the women. It has to be for those with male parts as well. You need to cross everything. I remember back in the day when I went to, was it Raging Waters? We had to go like this and with your ankles crossed down the thing. You couldn't just be like, like you had to like take some precautions. So I really wonder if she's going to win this suit, or if they're going to be like, we told you what to do and what not to do, and you decided to not comply. And now you have vaginal lacerations. Girl, what's the healing process of that? And is it external? Is it internal? I bet that mess hurts. hurts. Water like that. That's like, that hurts. That's like a sword, like just slashing through your bits and pieces. And now it's in bits and pieces. Oh my God. That's traumatizing. I don't know that I would even sue for the lacerations, like probably, but I would most likely sue for pain and suffering and trauma, you know? Cause like, you didn't tell me what could have happened that would cause me this suffering. I understand that I should have listened to the instructions, but I didn't. I didn't do that. But you should have warned me that there were going to be dire consequences if I didn't. And you didn't tell me. Ooh, Emma girl, I hope you get some money for your pain and suffering, baby, because they were like, the impact of the slide and the impact into the standing water at the bottom of the slide caused her clothing to be painfully forced between her legs and for water to be violently forced inside of her. She had to undergo surgery to repair gynecological injuries. Ooh, girl, she experienced immediate and severe pain internally and stood up, and just the floodgates of blood was just You don't want to hear the rest of it, girl. Girl, what would you do? You done lacerated your vagina? I don't even know. Ow. Oh. That just sounds super painful. I'm sorry, Emma. I'm sorry. Like, but what lesson did we learn from this, kids? Listen to instructions, y'all. Something had to happen, right? Because I would imagine that, like, something had to happen. Is that the first time that's happened? Has it happened to other people? Like, because I don't know what happened. But it sounds like for her, it felt like she came out that tube and landed on spikes. I don't know. I'm sorry, Emma. Y'all, let me tell you about this other story. It's a dating story, okay? So this girl goes on a date with this guy. I think they have a good old time, first date, second date, and they're about to go on their third date. But he calls and he's like, I can't make it. Now she's like, oh, for real? Because they had a good time, right? So she was like, we're vibing. We're like gonna go out again. And so she's like, oh, why can't you make it? You know, good question to ask. Like, are we gonna reschedule? Are you just like, nah, I'm not feeling it anymore? And he's like, well, I'm in jail. Now, low-key, being from where I'm from, South Central Los Angeles, this isn't an uncommon conversation, okay? It happens. It happens. Usually it happens to people you kind of like know, and you know them for longer than 2 dates, because remember, they didn't get to go on the third one. So she's like, oh, guess, you know, maybe we won't be going out tonight. And he is like, I need a favor. Guess where this is going. Guess where it's going. Put it down in the comments. Guess where it's going. I'm going to give you a second. He needed somebody to bail him out of jail. This is not a like stupid request at all. Like, you need someone to bail you out, right? What I'm curious about though is that I've known you like maybe 2 weeks because we went on 2 dates. It could be that I've known you for a few days because I'm a fan of back-to-back dates. I don't know you real well. I don't even remember your last name. I don't know what your daddy do for a career. I don't know all this information. But you want me to get in my car, drive down to the jail, and bail you out. What? Like, why you ain't call nobody else? So apparently he doesn't have any family or friends in the area. So the only person he had to call was homegirl. Dan called her because he didn't have nobody else to call. Let me tell you about Dan and his life. He's an executive coach, 1 year divorced, and a great conversationalist. He has pretty green eyes. And, you know, they met at in a little town. And I love that he's like, I might have to cancel. Sir, like, might or might not, like, I don't understand. And he had apparently a bunch of unpaid parking tickets. And they issued a subpoena. And he never received it because he moved. So basically he didn't go to court, so they put him in jail. And he's like, we could still totes go out, but like I need to be bailed out first, and it's $400 and it has to be in cash. He didn't have enough money in his account to pay for it. Understandable. Not everyone has hundreds of dollars just sitting available for use in their account. And homegirl decided, I can't let somebody sit in jail. I have to help them out. Let me know what you would have done. Let me know what you would have done. But she was feeling like, oh, I'm just thinking about his eyes, and if we get to go on this date. So she wore a cute little sundress to the jail. She was trying to smile at them, like all the guards and stuff. Like, I'm here to pick up my date. Girl. Then she had to like sign in and put down her relationship to the incarcerated person. And she's like, friend. Girl, you don't know this man. You don't know this man. You don't know this man. And he had said that he was going to give her back the money. I don't believe nothing that's coming out your mouth, sir. I don't believe nothing that's coming out your mouth. Okay, maybe you didn't get the subpoenas. Because I've had professional instances where they dropped the subpoena at an old office and then I didn't even know about it. The date done passed anyway. But you knew you didn't pay those parking tickets. Like, what did you think, that they would just disappear like a Disney show? There's no wand. There's no wand to wave to get these parking tickets to disappear. So you just knew that you wasn't paying them. And now I have to come down to the jail in my cute little dress and bail you out $400 cash. And I'm not quite sure I'm going to get it back. So girl, he comes out in a jumpsuit. Good old orange jumpsuit. And like he gets to change and everything, and she drove him home and he says thank you. And she was just like, I'm gonna call you later. And she called him to try to get her money back, but he wasn't giving it back right away. Why would you? I wouldn't. So needless to say, they didn't go on another date. What would you do? What would you do? I know that my dad used to say, if you get arrested, don't call me. Do not call me. Maybe call your mama. But he's like, you're going to sit there. Now, I would probably go pick up a friend. I don't know if I am Christian enough to go pick up somebody I don't quite know. I don't know you like that. You could be lying. It could be more than parking tickets. Why is a cash bond? Like, I just have questions. I have questions, and I feel like I can't really ask them right now because you have limited time on the phone. So I don't know. I don't know. Knowing me, I probably would go pick the person up. That's what happens when people be too nice. You gonna just, somebody gonna call you and be like, why he couldn't get like a bail bonds person or whatever. Like, how am I the only option? Is that not strange? I don't have experience in, like, you know, needing to call someone for bail money. But I feel like there's something a little strange about this. Like, just a little bit. Not a ton, but it's just a little strange. Just a little. One more story, okay? One more story. I'm going to go in with the YSL concealer. Update on this. If you don't like a dry concealer, like, you are not going to like this. I am usually fine with concealers where people are just like, it's so dry. Like, I'm like, no, it isn't. But this one, if I'm saying it's dry, y'all, it's dry, okay? Like, there's no real slip and slide. Like, it is a dry concealer. It has great coverage. And I like it, but I'm just warning y'all who don't like dry concealers, like super matte and drying, please stay away from that. You're not gonna like it. Anyway, last story. There was a young Latino family, and they were celebrating one of the kids' birthdays. I think it was like his 13th birthday. And the woman, the mom of the child, informed everyone that he is autistic. The child is. So he's sensitive to, like, some sounds and different things. Just, you know, there are some things that bother him due to his autism that may not bother other folks who aren't autistic. So one of the things that he's super uncomfortable with is, like, animals. Any kind of animal, he's not a fan. He does not do well around animals. He doesn't feel comfortable. Everybody knows this. So they are out at a park having a good old time, eating some food, like some empanadas, some tacos, like pupusas, like everything, right? Girl, a black bear comes out of nowhere. A black bear. Now, you know they tell you everything you're supposed to do when you see a bear, right? What are you supposed to do? Tell me what you're supposed to do. What I remember is you're not supposed to make any loud noises. You're not supposed to, like, run, make any, like, quick movements or anything. You could just, like, back away, roll soft and cool, and, you know, leave the bear alone. You could just, like, be still until it moves. Girl, this bear, imagine we all are at a picnic table. You know, the picnic table where you have the table in the front, it has, like, the two benches, right? So me and you, we over here on one side, and then somebody else is over on the other side, and then somebody is over here recording. Because, you know, we're having a good time at the birthday. All of a sudden, this black bear comes and hops on the table. Listen, there's one part that I don't fault the bear for. The food looked good, okay? This food looked good. The bear starts eating the food, and he, like, takes a bite, and then he sort of turns and is right in the face of the mama, right here. Like, they could kiss. That's how close they are. And remember I told you the little boy is like scared of animals. He kind of gets really upset around them. So it's like, oh snap, we have to make sure that he's okay, because we don't want him running and like the bear start chasing. Like that's the story's not gonna end well. So the mama, she acted like a mama bear. She just held the little boy to her chest, turning his head away so that he couldn't see the bear. And she's just sitting there, still as a statue, just not moving, while the bear just continues eating all their food, all of it. The person who's filming is stock still also. The camera is not moving. Person is like, this is how they are. Oh. Then there's another person over there, and she's sitting still. Nobody's moving. The only being that's moving is the bear. And the bear is just focused on his food. Because it's his food now, okay? It's not our food. It's his food. Now, the lady, like, filming, she notices he ain't touched the what? I don't know. What was it? Let's just say it was carne asada. He ain't touched the carne asada. So she takes the carne asada and she like whips it over. And the bear goes and like goes away. Girl, when I tell you, I don't think I could have done it. I don't think I could have done it, because I feel like everything that the Rangers had told me would just fly right out of my head as soon as I saw that bear. As soon as that bear was up in my face with its bare breath, this was not Yogi Bear. This was not like the little one, the other little one. This was not a cute, nice bear. Do those exist? I don't know. Girl, and they said that I can't remember where they live, but they were like, you know, it's not super common, but it's also not super uncommon for a bear to just walk by, you know? If I knew that, I'm sorry, I don't think I would be going to the rainforest or wherever it is that they were located, the park, the forest, the campground. I don't know. I'm not going. That mother is a hero. Because maybe it's because she had her child with her that she just went into protective mama bear mode, and she was just like, bear, you not gonna touch now one hair on his head. You not gonna do it. When I tell you that bear was like right up in her face, I would have peed and shat all over everybody. Like, child, even if I had already emptied my bladder and my bowels, something would be coming out. Girl. Like, she is the GOAT. She is the greatest of all time. And the fact that all of them, every single one of them sat still. I don't even know if they were breathing. I think they put everything on pause. I don't even think the world was turning on its axis. Like, everything just like slowed down. Like, my heart is racing just thinking about it. Look it up. Look it up. I don't know what you're supposed to look up. Let me tell you. Girl, where is that? Whew. Like, I feel like my heart is racing. I can't even find the story. I know I didn't make it up. I know I didn't make it up. Oh, okay. Oh, they were in Mexico. They were in Mexico. Silvia was celebrating her 15-year-old son Santiago's birthday in Chipinique Park on the outskirts of Monterrey in Mexico when a bear jumped on their picnic table. And the bear ate all the food. He didn't leave not one drop. We can't even finish our little celebration, Mr. Bear. He ate all the enchiladas, all the tacos, all the French fries. He went ahead and ate everything. Oh, I'm sorry. Santiago isn't autistic, or I'm not sure if he is. But he does have a diagnosis of Down syndrome. So she shielded his eyes and everything, and the bear is just munching on the food. That's one part I would actually be a little upset about. I done cooked all this food, Mr. Bear, and you about to go ahead and eat it. I didn't even get a taco. She just didn't really want Santiago to get scared because he's afraid of animals. Everything. Cat, dog, any animal. So she was just covering his eyes because she didn't want him to see the bear and scream and run, which is what we know the rest of us would be doing. Santiago did say that he was very scared. The bear was very close, and the two heard it growl. Apparently they knew that there was a chance, probably a slim chance, that they could encounter a bear. But if I need a 0 chance that I'm going to encounter a bear, I need a 0 chance. But they did say that they listened to the National Park Services, and they advise anyone, if you encounter a bear, remain calm, avoid sudden and loud noises, don't run or climb, and don't allow it to access your food. How are they supposed to do that? The bear came and got the food. Whew. Y'all, I have chills. I have chills. It's like counterintuitive, right? Because you see something vicious, you're gonna run. But they're like, don't run. Fight your natural instincts and stay still. Here's the thing. I don't know if y'all noticed. So I talk with a lot of my trauma clients about this. So we've got fight or flight, and people forget that there's freeze, right? Fight, flight, or freeze. So I could be all big and bad, and like, if I see a bear, I'm a fight, right? Or somebody else might be like, I'm a flee, I'm a run. And somebody's gonna be like, oh my God, I don't know, I might freeze. Here's the thing. When we are encountering some like super scary traumatic situation, our parts of our brain actually stop working, and we go into this mode of where the most primitive parts of our brain take over, like the stuff that develops first, okay? And so at that time, your brain decides what you're gonna do. You don't get to decide. So I could be like, I'ma fight this bear, and my brain is like, girl, bye, you about to lay your ass down and freeze. So that's the thing, we don't know what's gonna happen. So in that moment, Maricela, I can't remember her name, her brain took over, and her brain was like, this is what we have to do to protect our family. And that is to hold this child against my bosom and sit stock still while this bear eats my food. Girl, I don't know that we could say everybody would do that, because like I'm telling you, instincts might tell us to run, okay? We try to save ourselves. Thank God for her brain and her like trauma responses, because that could have ended real bad. But the other thing I'm thinking, this bear looked kind of skinny. It looked a little slim. I thought bears were bigger than that. I don't need to find out, but it did look a little slim. Okay, let me finish this up, y'all, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And I have more stories that I'll tell you later in the week. I just had to get these couple out my mind, okay? Be right. Okay, here is the finished look. To literally go nowhere, I actually went out earlier and just actually wanted to sit down and talk about the news, las noticias. So, let me know what you think. There was the Border Collie man, the Disney World mishap, and the bear attack. Did we talk about anything else? Probably. I don't know. But I really want your opinion on those. And if I missed one, give me your opinion on that one too. Whew, I hope that some of this was helpful or entertaining or enlightening. And I hope that you are continuing to take care of yourself. After you comment, make sure to like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. More news later this week, and I will see you next time.